And I stood up and he dropped down. Should I have marked him right there for that? Okay.
Yep.
All right. I'll keep trying.
And it can be, and even with the marking too, it doesn't always have to be treats. Like, that's for attention. So you can stand up, wait for him to put his feet down, like, yes, good job, and then go to pet him. That can work too.
Okay.
That's all just pushy behaviors, and it's trying to get what he wants, which is attention or food. Yes, good job. Good. When it's something that's hard for him, like coming up to you and sitting and not trying to jump, reward with a couple extra cookies. Like I gave him like 3.
Okay.
Yes, good boy. Good. Can you lay down? I know, it's slippery on the floor. Are you gonna do it? No.
He'll pretend.
So when asking for something to make sure your whole attention's towards it.
Okay.
So I asked him for a down when I'm pointing. I'm trying to look down too to get him to do it. He might not since it's hardwood. But all the things he's doing right now, he is problem solving. He's lifting his feet, he's sliding, he's wagging, he's looking at me, he's looking away. No. Yes. Oh.
Uh-oh.
You get it?
He
okay.
did.
It didn't roll. Good. So every little thing we do is communication.
Okay, yeah.
So even when he came kind of towards me, I did this at first, that didn't work, I just lifted this leg up a tad.
Okay.
Yes. Be very patient when you're asking for commands in this state too. He's very focused. He's not hyper-focused because he's still kind of showing relaxing body language. He's not like deeming on me like crazy. Right. But even so, he's excited. So he might not respond right away to something. Okay. I'm going to wait him out a little bit. I'm not going to say sit more than once. It needs to just be sit once.
Okay.
That was a little pushy. Yes, good. Because even me being in a sit where I'm really kind of in his face and a lot of attention, that's a reward. Oh. Yes. And right now it's because of frustration that he's not getting the treat
right
sits.
Right away, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good boy. So the reason why I didn't mark him right when he sat, he was staring at me, his mouth was shut, his eyes are locked, and he's leaning forward. Those are all signs of hyperfocus.
Okay.
So I'm waiting for at least something of like sitting. So right now, he's pretty too much focused. Yes. When his mouth goes tight to loose, that's when I'm going to give him a treat.
Okay.
Because there's moments in time we do want them to be hyper-focused on us, but his leads too fast to that over-arousal point, and I want to block that.
Right.
So I really want to mark him a lot for being calm and collected.
Okay.
You sit? Yes.
You can see it change.
Yep. I watch their mouth a lot. It can be from excitement, it can be hyper-focused. If you see dogs meeting to each other, if you see one of their mouth is like, you can see the creases, that's a big red flag.
Okay.
And I usually call the dogs away.
Okay.
Pitties and pitty mixes are very, very good at that. Like, their mouth position is huge to watch.
Okay.
So even now, his mouth is shut, but it's not pressed. Yes.
Okay.
So he's able to quickly relieve that tension and open it.
Okay.
Yes, good boy. His tail.
He gets it caught on everything.
Good. Good boy. No, like that.
Oh.
Yep. Good. Nope. There's too much focus or like hyper focused, you can just take your attention away from it.
He gets very pushy.
The same practice as tossing treat away so that he resets.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And that can be done too, even if you want to stay sitting, you can do the same kind of concept. He was just getting like obsessively pushy about it.
He gets hyper focused on things, or it's like he has OCD. He can't get off of it for a very long time.
Especially with noises.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard to interrupt him when it comes to noises.
Okay.
Very hard.
So another thing I might recommend you guys having is getting some slip leads. Just to have around your house so you can just slip it over his head and guide him away. So it does add a little bit of pressure, but that's not the reason I want you to have it, just so you can get something on him fast. Because trying to put his harness on every time, like, it's just not gonna work.
Exactly.
And the harness they're recommending is it's pretty tight and it's meant to be tight, so I don't want it to be on all the time.
Right.
It's mainly for going outside. Do you need to go out there? You went to the door. Are you just bored?
He might.
Sit. Yes, good boy. Sit. Good. So when he goes potty, do you go out that way?
We do, and then when
Sit.
there's snow, and then we go out front.
Okay.
He'll usually sit at the door.
Kate, do you want me to film in case he needs to do that, and you can walk through with her?
Hmm?
Do you want me to film so
In case
if he does need to go potty, you can walk it through with her?
Do you want to try to go outside? You did go to the door, but it could have meant you were bored.
Maybe. Maybe. Okay.
We can let him go sniff. Do you want to go that way or that way?
This way. Can you go potty?
Go potty. Free.
Can you go potty?
All done. For a minute. You act like you had to go. Oh, you like a little patio. Nice.
Oh yeah.
Hey. So go ahead and take his leash and kind of guide him so he knows that we're done for a minute.
Milo. Go potty?
So another thing I was doing with him that I don't think I described is spatial pressure, which is a lot like when I'm pushing into him, I'm adding it. So they're very spatial communicative. So I describe it as there's a bubble around him, there's a bubble around me. If there's too much pressure, that bubble's gonna pop.
Right.
That is your tension. Same for the dog. So if he pushes into mine, I'm just slightly kind of rocking back into his. Yes, good boy. Even if he's not jumping, you can work on this just to teach him that if I invade your space, it means back up.
Okay.
Mark when he does, or if he sits, just any kind of communication. The biggest thing with this, and I'm going to show you what not to do right now. So if I'm pushing into him, do you see the stress I just created to him back off?
Yeah.
So when he relieves that pressure, I need to do the same thing.
Okay.
Yes. Good boy. Then I mark and then reward him for inner space. So this is how you teach not to jump.
Okay. Yeah.
So literally you walk into him, teach him that means back up versus him doing it to you. He comes to you and jumps, you just take a step into him. Good boy.
Good boy.
And with all your weight. So when I do that too, it's not just a calm energy I'm giving off. It's a get out of the bubble.
Okay. I also I'm very hyper aware when we're outside for all the dogs.
Right.
And then if I see someone walking by or a dog walking by, I stand in front of him.
Okay.
Is that a good or a bad thing?
That's fine.
Okay.
Yep. In the beginning, that's kind of the first step.
Okay.
Is to keep him to look up at you. So when you do that from now on, like say, dog's over there.
Yeah.
And when he comes back to me, if he goes to focus on it, I'm gonna do this.
Okay.
But then I want him to pop up at me, and I'm gonna feed every second while he stares at me.
Okay.
So then he can watch them, see them pass by. He should look at you instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
What we'll start to work on is instead of like say that's the dog.
Yep.
Here to here, would be able to do this. Not have him react, reward, move back in front of him if he does react.
Okay.
Does he ever, when he gets in that reactive mode, does he ever redirect on you?
Yeah.
Okay, he does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I see you have a muzzle over here. Is he trained with it?
I bought that
Nauseous.
and I have not started with it yet because
Okay.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous
gotcha.
about everything because I don't know what I'm doing and I feel like I
Gotcha.
don't want to make anything worse.
So for now, no long walks.
Okay.
We're literally just going to focus on going outside to go potty,
Okay.
spending 5 or 10 minutes, coming back inside.
Okay.
We can do
Just to
that.
start making it easy.
Okay.
Each dog's different how long they need to do that. So think, it doesn't have to be like a crazy amount of time. It could be 3 or 4 times a day for 5 to 10 minutes. Nothing major.
Okay.
Anytime you see he seems to be overactive or seems like no focus at all, come back inside. So it's going to be kind of hard with how it's set up.
Yeah.
Because you have to go down the stairs and come back in.
Yeah.
Because another thing I want you to start working on is just teaching him to follow you inside and working on heel.
Okay.
So I think we're running out of time for me to get through it today, but I'll send you a video kind of what to do. With this, it's going to be really hard to feed him through.
That was my fear, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest you get a Baskerville muzzle. Canine Chaos has them. I think Petco
Oh.
has them.
Okay.
It's just a different style.
Okay.
I like the Baskervilles because they're very bendy, so they're comfier, but they're really strong. Like
Good.
it's,
Okay.
they can't get through it.
Someone recommended that to me, and they were like, "Oh, it's great, it's fantastic. I use it with my dog," and then I was like, "There's
Okay.
food."
Yeah. So when you're first training, I would try the Baskerville one. There's more holes,
Good.
and you can actually feed through it. He can lick through it, and he can eat.
Okay, yeah, because
So-
I wanted to be able to drink water. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
about
I don't know if they can with that one. Maybe. I'm sure they could probably figure it out.
that one. Yeah.
But the Baskervilles are my favorite.
Okay.
Sit.
Awesome.
Good. I use a lot of peanut butter when I'm doing this. I also want, so this week your goals are to work on just small little steps outside.
Mhm.
Getting a harness,
Mhm.
Baskerville muzzle.
Mhm.
The muzzle, start feeding him his dinner in it. So
Okay.
you're gonna hand feed.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
have him and you're not gonna worry about the straps at first. It's literally just putting food in it so he gets his face in it.
Gotcha.
You mark the second he does that, then he gets food, and
Okay.
keep doing that over and over
Okay.
again. I do have a video
Awesome.
for it that I can send you guys on how to do it.
So when he's feeding and you're marking,
Sit.
you're just audibly saying out loud.
Yes.
Good job. Okay.
Yep, just yes, or the clicker.
Yeah. Okay.
Inside, I like to use yes, just because it's
Yeah.
you don't always have a clicker in your pocket.
Yeah.
If you do, that'd be great. But even as a trainer using a clicker 24/7, I don't.
Right.
So the word yes is the same kind of concept.
Okay.
And then outside, I like to use a clicker because it's more of a strict,
Louder,
stern sound that's like your vocal chip. Well, bleh. Inside, you're generally calm, so your vocal tone tends to stay the same. When we go outside, when you're flustered or in an angst, the same reason why you don't talk to him so much is when you're in that state of mind, it's really hard to keep your yes calm.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time you're like, maybe yes, but it's
Yeah.
yes.
Exactly.
And that's the opposite of what that marker sound should be. So
Okay.
the clicker outside is an easier way to avoid adding too much emotion to the vocal.
Okay.
Sit. Good boy. That's a good boy. Alright, we're gonna get you used to the clicker. So some super basic stuff this week to get him used to
Yes.
is just getting the sound of the clicker, which I'm going to drop some treats and then click just to see if he's scared of it or not.
Okay.
A little bit of fear. Good. It's his ears
Yeah.
that definitely show if he's scared or not. Can I smell it? Yes. Good. Good. The biggest thing with the word yes and the clicker, if you accidentally mark the wrong thing, you still have to give a treat. Just so it keeps that strong pairing.
Right.
Okay.
If you're not marking the same thing 10 to 20 times in a row, you're not going to create a new behavior. If you do it once or twice, it's not a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Most people panic like, oh no,
Right.
it's fine. Just give them a cookie and move on. It's cool.
Okay.
Sit. Good.
Yeah, my mind thinks so much in black and white and reward and
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all do.
Yeah.
I constantly tell my client it doesn't matter. Treats are just treats. Like,
Yeah.
the only now, if you weren't adding a marker word and you were using treats specifically when he does something good and just giving it to him, then yes, that concept would be true.
okay.
Okay.
But when we're using a marker word, it takes marker word
Yeah.
or sound. It takes that away. It becomes more conditioning versus
Okay.
just treats.
It's more important for him to be associating the click with a
Right.
reward than giving him a reward out of the
Right,
wind. Okay.
right.
Okay.
So if, say, like, he's just sitting in front of me and I gave him a treat, should I have said yes?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay.
And there's times too that I don't always
Mhm.
use the marker and give a treat. But if they are doing something I like, I do want to reward that moment.
Right. Right.
So it's really dependent. But like if you're just dropping cookies on the ground, they're not going to associate a behavior with
Then
that
you're like,
unless
oh,
something
yeah.
happened.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But think of it when it comes to the scary noises and stuff. That is a positive interruption.
Mhm.
And that's what dropping the treats on the ground is.
Okay.
So that's a little bit of the difference.
Okay.
And it's more so then at that point it starts pairing something really good with things that normally make him freak out.
Mm-hmm.
You'll start to add the marker into it. So at first, if you hear loud noises, I'm literally gonna toss cookies on the ground to disengage him.
Okay.
Positively interrupt, so
Okay.
you choose on those. But then, if I notice he stops eating the treats and he kind of looks at what it was, but then chooses not to react, that's a moment to mark.
Okay.
Awesome.
And then gets
Yeah.
treats.
Okay.
Good.
Awesome.
Right? You sit.
And if you can't distract him with the treats on the ground,
Then get the leash on him and move him away.
Okay.
So like if it's on the stairs, you get a leash and come over here, get him to a point where he'll take the treats.
Okay.
Okay.
Or go and get a higher value.
Okay.
Right. Right.
But my go-to is peanut butter. I love,
Yeah.
like it's so easy. So just grab the jar and go. Good.
I don't know why I never thought to put it in the freezer. I'm gonna do that.
That's a good idea.
Or even in the fridge on the top shelf.
Yeah.
Usually is really good. You didn't even give me time to correct you. You just bounced and flopped. So he...
Sometimes I think he does that on purpose, yeah.
I was about to say that, because earlier he did it and I went to...
Yeah, he's pushy.
So when he does that, I'm not going to mark that sit, because then I would just mark that whole behavior change that he tried to do.
It's getting greedy.
But instead, I'm going to take a couple steps
Okay,
back
so you
and invite him into my space.
pull him away and then you reward him. So he doesn't think that the jump was part of it.
Yep, but if he does that, that's the behavior I really want.
Yeah.
But not this.
Yeah.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, I marked wrong. That was wrong. Still have to feed you. But even if you mark wrong, I got marked that jump on accident. I'm not going to feed him in mid-jump. I'm just going to throw it.
Right.
So I still gave him a treat, but I'm not going to incorporate that bounciness. Are you getting done?
Yeah, sometimes
You overstimulated?
he does that with us throwing a ball.
Yeah.
Do that too.
Yeah, this is really long. The first session is way longer than we're normally going to do. So the regular sessions are like an hour, but it's generally 45 minutes of working the dog.
Okay.
And the rest is talking or answering questions.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Because this happens. So he is over threshold. Like he's not being rude or obnoxious, but he's so excited that he's just, his brain turned off. So now he's just like, okay, what's going to give me that cookie? I'm going to bounce and sit and just blah.
Yeah, he's going to rotate all of the things he's been doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
So when that kind of stuff happens, there's a little method you can do that makes it kind of fun. Is mark him when he comes to you without jumping. Oops, I didn't mean to throw that. And then toss behind so he has to spin to get it.
Okay.
This is just kind of a calming method.
Okay.
So I do this a lot when my dogs are really excited. And my puppy's 5 months, so she's starting to hit her drive stage. So she's getting more amped up and frustrated. She needs work with.
Yeah.
So this is kind of how I calm her down. Just when she comes to me politely and quickly clicking. Ugh, it's hard to say. And then tossing the treat behind. Tossing it behind is doing two things. One, it's mentally wearing him out, but also physically. But it's also teaching him that each time he comes back to me, he's a little bit more calm.
Okay.
Oh, true. Yeah, you can see it in his body language.
Good boy. So in the beginning, I'm clicking the second he faces me. Now I'm waiting a little bit. Like just a couple. Oh, it went by the vacuum. Do you want to get it by the vacuum? Good boy.
Wow, you got very close.
When I can tell he's kind of taking it down a notch. Oh, I was too slow on that one. I'm counting a couple seconds before I click.
So you're just trying to slowly build more space between that reward of him showing up.
Yep.
Okay. Without jumping.
I don't know where it went, bud, but I thought you got it.
I think you did.
You got it. Because then that happens. So that was perfect. So I gave him a handful of cookies. He didn't just get one or two, he got a bunch.
Okay.
And jackpotted that perfect behavior that I wanted.
Yep.
Okay.
Just literally just walking up and sitting rather than any jump. That's what, okay.
Oh.
Oof. Did you not chew it?
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Did he
I
throw
love when
up?
y'all do that. So
No,
gross.
he just coughed up a treat.
And then ate it.
Yeah.
Of course.
Of course you did.
Good. So even if he does do the jump up and sit thing, I don't want you to feed him right when he sits.
Okay.
You can toss it and reset. You can still click when he does sit, but I'm not going to give him a treat right away because he might go back up to jump and then down.
Right.
Okay.
Are you checking out the vacuum? Good job.
That's shocking. Even if he has a ball near it, he won't go near it.
Really?
That's so funny.
Good. Start things like that too. Desensitizing means you're literally pairing treats with something scary. It's just counter conditioning. So it's in moments when you don't have to use it, work him like it's okay to go check it out.
Yeah. Okay.
So one of the other things, if you guys do more with me, we're going to teach a place command, which is a zone where he can stay on. It's going to build confidence away from everything else. I felt you were doing that. I felt it. I did. Good. Wait a little while on that. I want to make sure he's not going to sit and bounce.
Right, that's that, yeah.
He's smart. He knows.
He's very smart. He acts very dumb sometimes. On purpose.
He pushes it. He's like, I can get away with this, but I act like I'm not figuring it out.
Selective hearing.
Good. So even then, I could tell he's about to jump, so I just kind of did a really quick shuffle into him, or like, wait, move, good boy, yes. Good thing these treats are low calorie. Kind of bunch.
Right? He can't gain weight to save his life. He's been the same weight
He looks good,
for like
though.
a year and a half. Yeah. The vet was like, he's exactly the same weight as he was last year. I'm like, really? So he maintains really well.
Good. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, he's all muscle.
Yeah. Even his cheeks are muscle.
Yeah. You're a very strong boy. Good boy. Oops. Get it. It's a freebie. Good. That is testing a little.
Yeah, it's funny. You can feel it. I mean, we know Milo a lot, so like that would have been a moment where he'd be like jumping up on your side as you're walking by.
Okay, so it's definitely working.
Absolutely.
It's been one of the hardest things though for us to try to figure out how to deal with.
Yeah.
Okay.
That and his reactivity.
Yeah, exactly.
And with dogs who are reactive too, they're insanely intuitive to everything going on.
It's
Which is
crazy.
why they're reactive. Because they're just so able to be alerted by absolutely everything that they don't know how not to react.
Right.
So we have to teach them there's no need.
Right.
Good.
Like, he did
Okay.
not react, but even that car door, if
He
he would
would've
just hang
freaked.
out, he would have freaked out.
Okay.
He just coughed up again. Or
Go.
my garage door will open. I can hear him yelping upstairs. He'll be like, oh my god, mom's home.
Okay.
But
So he's-
if we're at home sitting on the couch and that car door closes, our reaction right now should just be dump a bunch on the floor and that's
or
his
just
focus.
say, you can say all done.
All done,
Okay.
yeah.
And then take the treats and then dump. So it becomes
Okay.
a command of, okay, if I don't bark, I get the cookies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now, it's in moments if you see that's fearful. Because if he barks, does he like bark for a long, long time?
Sometimes.
It's like boofing, and then like there might be a small bark in there, but it's mostly like growls and boofing, basically.
Hair on
Yeah.
it. And
Okay.
I don't know if boofing is a common dog term or not. I just
I
thought,
think it
okay. I hope, where he goes like boof.
Oh, okay. Like the more like the wolf.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna
Oh.
pretend to bark, but I'm gonna be real
Yeah.
quiet about it.
I know what you're talking about. So
good boy.
I have mixed. So things like that, like the car doors and stuff, like I'm okay with dogs barking at that because that's half the reason we got them, but I don't want it to be obsessive.
Okay.
It is.
So will he bark and then like take a breath and then go woo, woo, woo?
It's like a good. It's
Yeah.
like a good minute. He'll bark.
Okay.
When it's just me in the house.
Yeah.
Okay.
He will not stop
Sometimes when
until
I
I like move him
But is he
around.
better when you're both home?
Yeah.
It's a little less, okay.
Yeah.
It's when everyone's home, it's more safe.
Mm-hmm.
It's normal. More comfortable.
It's
My
more
Dane, he's like, I'm done. He's like, I'm gonna go hang out. That's fine.
Milo,
So
come here.
he might be diffusing himself a little bit, which is good.
Yeah. He's talking
Milo, come.
But that's really common
Okay.
in dogs. It's just because it's
Milo,
think of it
come.
as a member of the
Good
family.
boy.
The same with kids. Like kids do better
Okay.
when everyone's home. They
Okay.
tend to be better.
Yeah.
If someone's gone for a few days, they tend to
Good
act out.
boy.
Dogs are the same.
Okay.
It's just their family unit's not all together.
Right. Right.
With us too, I feel like I hate it, but it's the truth. They tend to be more not protective, but more. They think it's more vulnerable in the house when it's just like us.
Yeah.
Versus when the guy's home.
Yeah.
my-
No. Exactly.
And I saw this a lot with my Dane when I was pregnant. Oh my god, I couldn't take him anywhere. Like he went super protective and reactive when I was pregnant. I couldn't go by myself
Oh
with
my
him anywhere.
god. Yeah.
And I actually drove across country from here to Indiana for my baby shower
Oh my god.
with him and my lab. No one could get near my car. Like, it was bad.
Yeah.
I actually got pulled over in Ohio for going too fast.
Oh,
And,
no.
the cop pulled his gun because he
Milo,
legit
come.
thought my day was going to break through.
No.
It was
Good boy.
bad.
That's scary.
I was
Oh,
like, if you
no.
put your gun down, he'll stop. He knows what guns are. Please just put
Yeah,
it
right?
down.
Like, what the hell?
And he listened, he put it down, and off I immediately lay down. Like, it's okay. I'm like, oh, God,
My-
it's a mess.
My biggest fear, honestly,
Sit.
is getting pulled over with him in the car.
Whew, he's gonna freak. I can see him freak out.
Yeah.
The lights alone are gonna freak him out.
Yeah.
Those are moments like that. So I have random treat pouches and bags in every different place.
I
I have a
bunch.
bag of these in my car
Mhm.
at all times, so I can work with puppy if I need to. I have in my house, I have little jars everywhere that, like, just places I
I
can
do
put
some on the
cookies.
stairs too.
Yep, yep. And then, obviously, yes, you went, like, 10 seconds without jumping. Good job.
That's good.
And then, like, the higher value stuff, I just go and get it when I need it. And your guys' house is pretty, like, you can easily get to it fast enough.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the marker is what needs to be quick. The treats don't have to be that fast. So as long as I'm marking the behavior that he does it right, when he does it, he knows within 5 to 10 seconds treats are going to follow.
Okay.
Good boy. You sit. Good.
So how should we be treating the clicker? Is that something we should be using regimented like every time, or is that something we should be using in special occasions? Or
You can use it at all times.
okay.
Inside, you can either use the clicker or yes.
Or yes. Okay.
A lot of times I use both. So if I click and you hear me say yes,
Yep.
it's just to reincorporate. They mean the same thing.
Okay.
When you say yes to, make sure it's a different tone than how you normally say it.
Okay.
So when I normally talk to you, I'm saying, yes. When I talk to dog, it's yes. So
Okay.
it's just a little
More
different.
assertive, okay.
Yep. And more kind of like just a different tone so they understand or differentiate the two.
Mhm.
Outside and new things, I use the clicker.
Okay.
So when I'm teaching something new or doing a session, I'll bring out the clicker and use it. But if you're sitting on the couch and he comes assist you, you just be like, yes, good job, and you can love on it. So it's kind of makes it a little bit easier for you to manage. I mean, obviously, if you can have the clicker on you 24/7, go for it. But I know that's not feasible.
Right.
I mean, I do this 24/7 as a dog trainer, and I don't have my clicker on me all the time.
But it would be a good thing for us to reinforce with him too, because we can definitely use that in occasions where he's not listening. That's a pretty distinct
Yeah.
Yep.
sound for him to hear.
Just make sure you never use it to get his attention.
Okay.
A lot of people do that. They'll click it a bunch to get their focus. Do not do that.
Okay.
That is the opposite of the purpose
Yep.
of it.
Okay.
But instead, you can use treats. Like, say there's someone over there and he's not paying attention. I'm going to do this, literally shaking it in his face,
Okay.
luring him to face me, and then clicking in treats.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome.
And sometimes you don't even have to do that, but if it's, like, really focused, like,
I mean,
you got to tease
sometimes
them.
he'll need
Sometimes
that.
he's
Yeah.
very, very
Yeah.
focused, yeah.
But a lot of times, maybe just going straight. And I have it here, and then my hand's cupped, so I'm going right to his nose.
Okay.
Like, he can't get the treat. He can smell it,
Right.
but it's where he wants to get it then.
Right.
Good job, dude. Yes. Okay. You can take a break. Okay, we'll be all done. We did a lot. All done. All done. All done. You don't like that? I'm sorry. That's kind of scary. Good job. Good job. Is it? No. No. I saw that. Knock it off.
Yeah, we have a drop leash sometimes for that too.
It definitely would. Because he got grabby.
Yeah.
Good boy. That's better. Good. So even though it's like that, attention is key.
Mm-hmm.
So he got pretty grabby with my leg.
Yeah.
And then he actually bit up on me.
Oh.
Not hard. Like he was just
Okay.
a little over aroused.
Okay. See, he gets like obsessive with this, and it's hard to correct.
Good. So when he has a leash on, I'm just stepping on it.
Okay.
I'm not hurting him. It's just so I'm doing less with my body. Because when they are that grabby, the more you have more of your body you have for them to bite,
Mm-hmm.
or like try to console themselves and bite, the harder it's going to be to teach them to stop.
Okay.
Yes. Good.
So even hands behind your back type of thing, and
Yeah.
just turn,
Yep.
rotate,
Okay.
step on the leash if we need to.
Can you sit? Good. Good. My energy's changing in those moments too.
Mm-hmm.
It went from neutral to kind of like, no.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we should treat, giving up pets as a reward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. One of my close trainer friends, his slogan is less affection, more direction. And I
I've
love
been hearing
it.
that.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's a new thing in the field.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love this.
Yeah.
It's
I've
hard.
become
It's
ridiculous on TikTok, and he's actually the first trainer that I became friends with.
All right.
And he's pretty he's a pretty aggressive guy.
Yeah.
He is. His name on TikTok is Punk Ass Dog Trainer.
I feel like I've seen that.
He might have.
I feel like I've seen
He's
that.
very 90s rugged
Yes.
looking.
Yes.
I love him.
Yes. Does he have crazy rings on his hands sometimes?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He always wears a leather jacket.
Yes.
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 He's more balanced with stuff than I am, but we've had some awesome conversations about things.
Nice.
And he says in all his videos, I'm like, that makes so much sense. And I've just started doing it. I'm like, this is literally what I need to tell people to do.
Yeah.
Good.
That's so funny.
Good boy. Especially with the reactive nervous dogs too, because if he's in that state and you're constantly doing this, you're loving on him, you're touching him, you're just reinforcing all of that attention. And it's not necessarily like you're rewarding or coddling him, but you are teaching him in that moment, you're feeling anxious too. So if you are anxious and you're touching him, all of that anxiousness is going to go right to him.
Okay.
Versus like right now, he got a little scared or anxious and excited. My energy is really calm when it comes to dogs. Nowhere else in my life, but when it comes to dogs, it's very calm, and they feed off that because it just comes like natural to me to do it. So when they are in that state, if I can touch them to calm them down, I'm going to. But if I'm still anxious or amped up, I'm not going to touch them at all.
Okay. I'm an anxious mess, so.
Are you licking? Good. But that'll be good for both of you. Because it'll help once you know what you're doing and you can control your energy a little bit. When he's past the point of needing to freak out, he'll stay calm for you and vice versa.
Okay. Okay.
Nope. I like that. That was rude. He's nibbling. Sit. Okay, good boy. Down.
As soon as he nibbles too and realizes, oh no, he goes for licking and
Yeah,
doesn't
he
stop
did that too.
licking.
He did this and then he licked my whole thing.
Yeah.
Good boy. No.
No more hugs, kid.
Yeah.
Good boy. That was good. That works though. So now he's diffusing himself. So he